Yet another example of the UFC dropping the ball. Apparently, they were heavily interested in booking Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor. Why not? Why would you let it get to the point where Nate Diaz is going to sign a contract to be on the Ronda Rousey card, with a Ronda Rousey that is incredibly upset with the UFC and is calling them out every chance she gets? This is signing Nate Diaz for the card is a huge W for Ronda Rousey. I mentioned that in my previous video yesterday, and it just goes to show that this again was a huge mistake by the UFC to just let Nate Diaz fly under the radar and not book him against Conor. The UFC is still looking for a dance partner for Conor. Conor, it's almost confirmed by the UFC that Conor will be making a return to the UFC at some point in the future. But it seems like the UFC is still scrambling to look for an opponent. People have sworn up and down that Michael Chandler will be that next guy. But the issue with that is that Dana White is not swearing that Michael Chandler will be the next guy. And I don't know what reason that is for. I don't know if it's because Michael Chandler has been waiting too long or Dana is just upset with Conor. But for whatever reason, Conor McGregor still does not have a concrete next opponent. And Nate Diaz would have been a stellar opponent for him to finish a trilogy between these two men and find out who truly is the better MMA fighter. Albeit both of these guys are much older than they were when they last fought. But it still would be an amazing fight because both of these guys are high-level strikers. They both can rock a mic in a pre-fight press conference. This would just be a banger for any UFC card, especially, fundamentally because of this fight potentially being the return for Conor. So, you'd expect a lot of drunk Irish fans in attendance and a lot of MMA fans in attendance too, because Conor McGregor is the reason why so many MMA fans are MMA fans, myself included. So this would have been a great fight, and it's just another prime example of the UFC once again dropping the ball. Overall, let me know what you think.